This is the guide to normal Hellfire Ramparts, the first dungeon you can tank in Atlantiss. We already released a long 30+ minute commentary video that shows the whole dungeon and goes over the loot. This video is a tanking guide. First, we will give you cliff notes on the noble mobs, telling you which ones to prioritize for the first kill. Then we'll go over the bosses and the general strategy involved in killing them. The last portion of this video will be clips showing the trickier pulls and the actual boss encounters. Notable mobs. The first one we will discuss are the archers. These are range mobs. Try to keep them faced away from your group because they will cast multi-shot. Just put your back against a wall when tanking the packs that they belong to. There's no need to mark these guys, just keep aggro on them. Now we're going to go over the priority mobs. These are the ones you should mark and kill first. The first one we're going to talk about is the Destroyer. These are high priority mobs because they will cast Mortal Strike on you, which is going to put stress on your healers. They will also knock you back, which can reduce your threat. You're going to want to tank these with your back against the wall. The Ravener. You will want to prioritize these guys because they will kidney shot you and attack other party members when your threat drops. They can also detect stealth, so if you have a rogue who wants to sap, please point this out to him. Lastly, we have the Warhounds. You will see these in packs with other mobs. They tend to do a lot of damage, but will die quickly if focused. It's a really good idea to deal with these ASAP. Now let's get into the boss fights. The first one we have to deal with is Watchkeeper Gargomalar. He will usually open the fight charging the farthest party member. Don't panic, don't blow taunt if you have good threat. He will also stack Mortal Wound, which builds up a 50% Mortal Strike. The most important part of this encounter is you must kill his ads first, so be sure and mark them and communicate to your team. Next boss up is Omar the Unscarred. Very easy. Just look out for his Bane of Treachery, which is going to damage the afflicted and those who are close to them. It can be dispelled. He's going to summon Flendish Hounds. Your DPS should prioritize them because they will burn your healer's mana. Very easy fight. Lastly, we have Vazruden. This fight starts as soon as the ads before his area are killed, so make sure everyone is topped up with mana before pulling those ads. When Vazruden comes down, grab aggro immediately and watch the ground for the fireballs his mount will cast. If a fireball is in your area, move the boss to a safe position for both you and your melee. When Vazruden gets to about 30 or 40% health, his mount Nazan will come down and must be picked up immediately. Continue kiting when he casts fire on the ground. It's that easy. This point of the guide will show some of the more complex pulls in the dungeon. Don't worry, for the most part all the pulls are pretty easy. There is only one notably tricky pull in ramps, which I will go over later. When you first start pulling, the portion of the dungeon by the entrance is really congested. If you want to be as safe as possible, fight everything up to the first archer pack on the entry side of the bridge. I will speed up the video to keep things moving along when need be. Your first pack with notable mobs will occur right after the bridge. As discussed earlier, you will want to prioritize the Destroyer here, and try and tank with your back against the wall to prevent knockback. Also, make sure that you have the archers facing away from your group so their multi-strike does not hit. Lastly, to be safe, tank these guys on the bridge or closer towards the door. As you can see in this clip, I tanked them too far up and pulled the patrol. Like I said, the first portion of this dungeon is pretty congested. Now for that difficult pull. On your screen, you're going to see a green line pop up. Once the patrol gets past that green line, it is safe to pull the Beastmaster, which we marked with Skull. From there, just try and stay alive. You've got 2 destroyers. You're going to take a lot of damage here. You mark the Beastmaster with Skull because if you do not kill him quick enough, he's going to summon more dogs. Now, if you screw this timing up, you're going to get these destroyers who are beating you in like this, as well as another pack of dogs that come running in from behind. So this is the tricky pull. Just be mindful of that green line on the ground. When they get past it, you're safe to start the pull. Garglemar is our first boss fight. It is a breeze once you clear out all the packs in his area. As you can see here, the packs to the left and the right of where Garglemar is pathing are cleared. Pull him just as he is about to spin and pat the other way. Make sure to mark and kill his ads first as they heal him. He will also charge the farthest party member, so if you are of good threat on him, just let him come back to you. This fight is a basic tank and spank. The last pull description you will need. Pull these dogs just as they are in the middle of the doorway. You need to be careful in this area, as there are paths all around where you just pulled the dogs from. At a minimum, you will have to kill the mobs directly in front of the door and to the right of the door. Also, be aware there is a patrol on the bridge to the right of the doorway. The Omar fight is our second boss encounter. I always ask my DPS to wait for the first consecrate before opening on him because I like to debuff him with Crusader first. Shadow Aura can help here as he does a lot of shadow damage. If you are a Pally, you can use Exorcism on him because he is a demon. It will help with threat. Omar will summon ads periodically. It is best for your DPS to focus them down ASAP as they will drain mana. Lastly, be mindful that Omar will put a debuff on your party members that will cause damage on the afflicted target, as well as the party members that are close to him. Vazrudin is the last and most difficult fight in the instance. The encounter begins as soon as you kill the last mob guarding the circular area in which you'll fight him. It is a good idea to make sure that everyone has mana before fighting these 2 mobs. As a Pally, conserve as much mana as you can during this fight. Actual boss encounter. Vaz will jump off his mount Nizan. Pick him up as soon as you can. Periodically, Nizan will spit fire onto the floor. You will want to move Vaz out of the fire as your melee can attack safely. You will want to save your taunt for when Vaz gets down to around 35%. At this point, Nizan will join the fight and will make a beeline for your healer. Taunt Nizan and kite him in the same manner you kited Vaz. Nizan will debuff the ground with fire. It is once again up to you to move him out of the fire. As a Paladin, Fire Aura will help here. Threat can be an issue on this fight. If you burn Taunt on Vaz, you will not have it for Nizan when he comes down, and he will go right for your healer. Also, your melee who pull aggro usually do not kite him correctly. I generally will use Bop if someone pulls Vaz, so I can taunt Nizan as he enters the fight. Talk to your DPS before the fight. If you are a Pally, Sneak Sanctuary on any problem DPS before the pull. This concludes the Tank Hub Guide to Ramparts Normal. If you enjoyed this guide, please hit your like button below. Also, please leave comments on how we can improve these guides in the future. If you'd like to see the full dungeon run, we have provided a much longer video that shows the full run with commentary and discusses the good tanking loot. If you're looking for some kick-ass TBC content from a skilled Paladin, I encourage you to check out the Serious Gaming YouTube channel. Costin is a great pally, and he has a ton of TBC content. I will link to his channel in the description below this video.